So, okay. Hey, everyone who can see me. All right, so now it's time to start. Hello, everyone. I'm Mikhail Korotaev. Hi, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Yeah, can you please mute your microphone? So it's, yeah, I did it. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so everyone who's joining via Zoom, but yeah, no one else for now, I guess. Please don't use the microphone, so we are not disrupted during our stream. Okay. So hello, everyone. My name is Mikhail, and today our topic is security features and technologies in ONLYOFFICE with specific focus on private rooms, a unique new document encryption tool released in ONLYOFFICE Workspace. This stream will cover ONLYOFFICE security overview, go deep into some technologies and use cases, and include a live workshop on private rooms to help you understand how it works. Let's start with the security overview. So ONLYOFFICE is open source, which means the code is available for everyone to examine and test it. It can be deployed on premises as a private or hybrid cloud solution, so your documents always stay within your infrastructure and there is no handoff to public clouds. So security is in the design itself. For installation, you can choose any comfortable package or app to use. ONLYOFFICE comes with built-in features to help businesses stay compliant with Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act and European Privacy Regulations, so GDPR. Let's discover the security features and mechanisms available in ONLYOFFICE. So ONLYOFFICE offers a set of authentication features, for example, a two-factor authentication powered by Clickatell, SMS, CO Twilio, and also via authentication apps such as Google Authenticator. Single sign-on via Shibboleth, one login, or ADFS. And access via LDAP is available as well. You can restrict access to certain IPs and mail domains, configure cookie lifetime, and perform automatic logoff. Browse login history and access audit trail data on the admin level. And of course, set password creation criteria to make sure users are not employing their birthdays, easily guessable phrases, or whatever as their passwords. As for data protection, so here are the basics as well as some worthy new and experimental tools we have. To protect the traffic, ONLYOFFICE runs with HTTPS, while document editing connection is additionally secured with JWT, so JSON Web Token. Portals can be backed up either manually or automatically with the ability to adjust timing, copy structure, and location of your backup copies. User management involves different levels of access rights. Currently, there are being guests, users, and admins. You can control access to models and tools relevant to their tasks by applying some restrictions to these users. And of course, users can protect their documents. So flexible permissions are available in sharing. Use full access, read-only, commenting, reviewing, or filling forms permissions, allow or disallow modifying filter in spreadsheets, and additionally restrict downloading, copying, and printing if you like. You can also apply watermarks to additionally avoid unauthorized redistribution of your content. You can also perform full disk encryption in the latest version, and most importantly, in this latest version, in ONLYOFFICE Workspace, we introduced the new functionality for encrypting documents and collaborating on them securely called private rooms. The second part of today's stream is going to explore private rooms in more detail. So a little bit about encryption at rest. Let me now introduce this brand new feature. So here's the full disk encryption functionality, aka encryption at rest. So the feature basically allows you to perform full encryption of all portal and user data. Technological core here is the encrypt then make scheme that is cyclic in its nature. So for example, ONLYOFFICE encrypts all of the targeted data, and upon the action, it checks its legitimacy and integrity before decryption, making sure it's genuine data of your portal and it has not been anyhow violated. Pretty cool technology that does more than just encryption and decryption. Our scheme allows encrypting and decrypting large amounts of data quickly, which is quite convenient if you have a dense portal with a lot of data in it. Encryption at rest is a great value in protecting data from physical access. So no one who got to your data center can read the encrypted information, even if they acquire the carrier or the stored files within it. The encryption is managed via a control panel, and here is how the settings section looks like. Yeah, and so our roadmap for the next year or some nearest future includes lots of ideas, and the most important ones are enhancing the security on mobile, for example, document encryption, also protecting documents with our own electronic signature service by desktop editors, and finally a bounty program on HackerOne. So here people are casually testing our source code, and we want to make it official and well structured. So for all ethical hackers out there, stay tuned for the news. Another new feature that is truly the gem of ONLYOFFICE workspace is private rooms. So the idea came when we discovered that none of the existing products out there have a full base for editing security built in their functionality. We took the unique encryption technology that we created a while ago, but perfected it in its backend and usability. What's so unique about it? Let's discover. So some cloud services or virtual rooms do provide strong file encryption, even using unbreakable AES 256, but they don't offer any integrated editing tools and keep the key management to themselves. So assume that you need to edit the encrypted file stored in the cloud. To do it, you need to decrypt it, edit the now unprotected document, and only encrypt it back again once you finish. So more than that, if your cloud service integrates the document editors with server-side performance, then the documents are encrypted and decrypted on the server. ONLYOFFICE private rooms ensure true end-to-end encryption. All data are encrypted locally on the machine and transferred to the server in the encrypted form. Some of its suites offer encryption on the client side, but only locally. Assume that you need to share your encrypted document with someone. To do it, you need to share your document and a password to it. With a Facebook message or Gmail, no thanks. It's not very secure, I believe, not easy. ONLYOFFICE allows not only encrypting the documents to store them, but also to securely share and even co-edit in real time with your teammates. So all the documents you deal with in private rooms are encrypted once they're created or uploaded, and all inputs are made by your co-authors, including objects, images, all kind of elements, are encrypted on one end and transferred to the server in the encrypted form, and then decrypted on the other end. So the encryption of data is automatically generated, and the encryption data is encrypted itself. So forget about unsafe sharing, and you don't have to keep or remember a single password. So formats currently supported for encryption are Office Open XML group, which are docx, XLSX, and PPTX. That has to be a disturbing experience, you may guess. Some services indeed require activation of extra components or additional registration to create a new encryption entity for your account. But in fact, here you get seamless experience where you work normally as you're used to. So no extra moves whatsoever, just log in and start right away. At this point, you see no difference between casually editing and collaborating on your documents and working in the encrypted mode. Yeah, and finally, when someone claims your data security is covered, this is your choice to trust this information without actual proof or not. In ONLYOFFICE, the code is open for everyone to examine, so not problem at all if you just go and study how it all works on the background or have someone do it for you. So briefly, we believe there are 4 angles of good document encryption: true end-to-end, reliable encryption scrutiny, so everything is encrypted; user friendliness, so no preparation and training is needed; and the chance to prove the claims. And yet no one has come up with all 4 in one solution. That's why we did. What we have here is desktop editors as a primary interface, end-to-end. Remember, symmetric encryption of document data, asymmetric encryption with key pairs to perform secure sharing, a database inside your installation that keeps administering the processes, private rooms as your working environment with document management system. Setting up the rooms is easy. To start working in private rooms in your interface, just install the latest version of OnlyOffice, so OnlyOffice Workspace, and the latest version of OnlyOffice desktop editors. The private rooms are enabled by default. You can turn them off, of course, in the settings, but they are open by default. In the desktop app, you need to connect your workspace instance. So once you are in the cloud, your account will be associated with the database, and you will get the personal encryption credentials on the background. When all set, just find the private room section in Documents via Desktop Editor's Cloud section and start working securely. While you are performing all these sections, the app does following operations. So if you are logging in for the first time, you submit your login and password, right? So your user ID is then associated with automatically generated encryption credentials. So a pair of encryption keys, private and public, which are saved on the machine. For now, your private key is the one used for decryption, and the public one used for encryption, so hence asymmetric encryption. The private key is always stored encrypted with your user password, which is known only to you and not stored anywhere. The pair of keys is then saved to the database, and you just get access to private rooms. If you already have the credentials, so this is not your first time logging in, upon the login, the app obtains your keys from the portal and gives you the access. So when checking the keys, if they don't exist or don't match, a key creation is initiated, like in the first case. Now let's see how operations with documents work. So you can perform various operations with documents just as usual. You can open a document, you can create a document, you can share it, you can edit and co-edit it. Different processes on the back end apply to these operations. When you're creating a file in private rooms, 256-bit password is generated for it automatically. The file is then encrypted with this password. After that, the password is encrypted with your public key. The key is saved in the encrypted file in pair with your public key itself. So the encrypted file contains the document in the encrypted form and an array of its passwords encrypted with each sharing user's public keys plus the public keys themselves. This allows establishing collective access to the file, therefore making possible sharing and collaboration on the encrypted documents. When you open a file in private rooms, it is temporally downloaded to your machine. To decrypt the file, you need to obtain its password. Your private key is used to decrypt the password, and then the password to encrypt the document. Once the document is opened, all changes you make are separately encrypted and sent to the server. When the last person to edit finishes the session, the file version is updated. The file is then encrypted using its password and sent to the server. When you share a file, it is re-encrypted in a way that your colleague can decrypt it too. So the document is downloaded, the password is obtained and encrypted with the public keys of all users who now share access to it. It is then sent back to the private rooms. Inside the shared encrypted file, there is an array of encryption components consisting of each user's public keys and document passwords encrypted with them. So when decrypting the file on the other side, the user obtains the document password from the segment of this array, which is associated with their account. And now, how does OnlyOffice know which password is theirs? it checks the credentials database on the portal, which I mentioned earlier. So I guess about how it works schemes, that's it. And this must be a lot of information to process, I believe. So if you have any questions about the schemes, me and my colleagues will be happy to help. So just ask them in the comments below. Now, let's see the interface and how it all works from user's perspective. So if you happen to have everything up and running at the moment, you can watch and repeat to try everything out yourself. Okay, so I am now in my desktop editors. I'm going to connect to cloud session. Okay, where I'm going to enter the portal. It's going to be demo.onlyoffice.com. So this is like, let's say it's the first login. Connect. Now we're inside, and yeah. Oh, okay, big mistake. Okay, so now I'm in, and at this very moment of my login, my new encryption credentials are being generated. So now my user ID is associated with a pair of keys, which are now protected, and they're stored inside the database of the instance which I just entered. As you see, I just entered my document management system in ONLYOFFICE, and here you can find a private room section. You have already some samples here. So here are all the documents which are within the private rooms, and I'm going to create a new document because I want to start working in the encrypted form from the very beginning. Okay, let's call it new document 2. All right. Yeah, okay, let me type something. Yeah, you see, I just normally edit it and the interface is like completely the same. So for me as a user, the experience doesn't change at all, except for I have to work inside the folder. So here you can see the this icon, which says that the document is protected, so you know that you're working in the encrypted mode. Each change I'm going to type is going to be immediately sent to the server in the encrypted form. So basically as it is in the scheme, which I showed you during the demonstration, during the presentation, sorry. Okay, now I'm going to share my document with a colleague. Okay, so Nadia is going to assist me today. I hope she's online now. Okay, I'm giving her full access. And okay, is anyone here? Okay, sorry, takes a little bit of time. All right. Okay, let me just show you some other operations while we're having, I guess, some, and this is not a technical problem about the editor, so technology, this is just some other kind of problem. So I hope it's going to work within no time. Okay, so I'm still Still need this. Okay, so you see there is a document that I just created. It is already encrypted, and within private rooms, there is also an icon next to the document icon, which says that the document is encrypted. Okay, let's close it for now. And I'm going to download it on my computer, say to, okay, downloads folder. And okay, so now you see this document, and I'm gonna try to open it in some other editor. So yeah, here was an attempt to open it with the Pages application. It's like native editor for Mac. And you see that it requires the password. So the document is encrypted with the password, and it's not really possible to open it somewhere here. So you have to work with the cloud because yeah, you don't have access to these passwords. And since you don't have it, you don't have a chance to lose it somewhere or mishandle it. Okay, so I just got the message that my colleague is online. So I'm going back inside the document. Or is she? Okay, let's try someone else. Sorry for this, guys. Okay, so there was another colleague of mine, which is, oh, okay, Nadia is back. Okay, thank God. All right, so hi, Nadia. Hi. Okay, now you see that we are collaborating in real time. So the document is encrypted and everything, lovely people, is going on immediately at this moment. And yeah, so it's like no distractions, just as if you would be editing your documents normally. So I'm gonna now ask Nadia to share some documents with me. Oh. All right. Now I'm going back to the rooms. Yeah, and so I'm going to just show you how sharing the document looks when something is shared with you. Okay, oh, yeah, now we see. So Nadia just shared a document with me. You see there's a new document. It is in the private room. And yeah, it's called for Mikhail. Yeah, so now I'm entering the document, and yeah, everything was the same, but this is now a document owned by some other person. Oh. Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. I have a couple of more points. Okay, from the current slide. Yeah, and so are there any limitations? So you understand that security is the sole purpose of private rooms. So first of all documents are in private room, which are in private rooms, are encrypted, and also are the encrypted documents stored only in private rooms to make it all work correctly. So there are some limitations that apply to operations with files for security reasons, which are file and folder copying. Inside private rooms, you cannot move items outside of private rooms. Remember, everything has to stay encrypted and protected. Moving items anywhere which are shared with you is also possible. And recovering files from the bin is not possible as well, because there was no trash bin. You can only delete files forever, erasing them from the portal from a private room. You cannot recover the file versions, and you cannot overwrite the existing files. So say you drop a file inside a folder which has the same name, and so it's like you want to update its version by overwriting if it's completely different file. It's not going to happen. Okay, so to wrap it up, I'd like to share a peek into our future plans about document encryption. We sure want to bring end-to-end encryption to the mobile, so I'm not sure yet how it will be done, but it will be. Private rooms are available for Workspace and for ONLYOFFICE Community Edition, ONLYOFFICE Workspace Community Edition, but we believe that our cloud users might find it useful as well, so we will release private rooms in the cloud soon. File formats are much appreciated, of course. So up next are PDF and ODF file encryption. Introducing master keys for admins is currently discussed. So some light administration will be good in case of account loss or some other incidents, but we will make it secure, no worries. And electronic signatures for encrypted documents are also considered. So I believe that's all. Thank you for your attention, and we are eager to answer your questions. Please ask them in comments, and I'll try to answer. In case there is some really complex question which requires specific attention from the developers, or you can still write them down and okay, I'm gonna give you, you actually don't have, okay, so you can just reach out to press@onlyoffice.com and type in the title that there is a question about the security webinar, and we will try to answer it. So if you don't have your questions now, we're going to get them later still. Okay. I don't see anything in chat in the Zoom. So any questions? Oh, Jeremy says thanks for the webinar. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was a long one and quite like a lot of information in it, but thank you for staying with us. I hope you understood at least most of it. Yeah, I believe the schemes especially are not really easy. So yeah, in case you're interested in hearing some more, just drop me an email or something, and we'll be happy. So thank you. Okay. So I'm just got a message that all the questions on YouTube were already answered. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for staying with me, and we're gonna have the weekend where you have an opportunity to reach out via Twitter or other social networks using a hashtag. It's hashtag OnlyOffice2020. And ask your questions, and we are going to answer them during our Q&A session, which is going to take place on Wednesday. Yeah. Also, you can ask them personally. This is also going to be okay. So thank you so much.